This is the Agri-Fab lawn sweeper. This is something that I got back in February of this year, and I've had it for about 9 months now, and I'll tell you what I like about it and 2 improvements that you should make if you were to buy it too. I was looking for a lawn sweeper. I wanted to be able to get a lawn sweeper that was able to pick up all the grass clippings whenever I was doing my scalp, my first cut of the year, cutting all that grass down really low as I could get it. Well, that's going to bring a lot of grass clippings into the yard, and I don't have a bagger on my mower. So I needed something. I wasn't going to rake it all out of the yard. That's where I started to do my research. I found this one. There were multiple options out there. I was finding there were some that were on the lower end. A lot of them were made out of plastic, and I knew that that wasn't going to hold up, not one bit. So I was looking for something that was metal constructed, preferably made in the USA, and would last for a while. Not only that, I really cannot stand having to rake up or to blow off all the leaves and the pine straw and the sticks and the pine cones that all collect up in the yard this time of the year. So to me, it was a win-win. I wanted to get something that would last throughout the year. I could use it all the time whenever I needed it. So let's start by looking at the tires. I would honestly like to see some rubber wheels, but you can't ask for everything. That would probably add anywhere from $50 to $100. They work well, they grip the ground. I don't have any slippage, so I won't complain there. The next thing that we've got is this metal bar that runs across. There is a turn knob that adjusts the height right here, up and down. Put that back. You got the lower setting that actually goes up, and this is set on the highest setting right now. With the bag, it's a very heavy duty tarp material. It won't rip or tear. I'll show you the underside here in a second, but the bottom side of this bag has some additional plastic. I think it's yeah, it feels kind of like a plastic hard material. So right here, it's got these plastic hooks, piece of elastic, hooks right in. So the bottom side of the bag, I'll lift that up here. So there's a metal piece that runs along here that fits in some notches down here in the bottom. It keeps the bag in place. Now let me flip this thing over. You can see the bottom side of it. One thing that I really appreciate, this is what I was looking for whenever I was buying a lawn sweeper, these right here. So these brushes right here are not plastic. They're like the consistency of a push broom. They're very stiff. When I was reading online, a lot of these sweepers are plastic here, and they were breaking off in half. And I was thinking that that would not have any longevity, any durability at all. So that's one of the selling points for this particular lawn sweeper. All right, so you can see that it took about 4 passes before it started to fill up again. But pine straw is really easy to pick up. It's very light. I'll go ahead and dump it, and I'll get back to the rest of it. So you could also see that as I was going through, there were sticks still on the ground from this last storm. This thing had no problem picking them up. All right, so now I'm going to take you out to the front, and we're going to pick up some leaves from that pin oak that's out in the front yard. So pro tip here, if you pull it backwards, those brushes don't spin. lower the setting is on the sweeper, the harder it is for me to push. So I'll be honest, trying to hold a camera and putting on a lower setting is very difficult. I will say that it still did a pretty good job. Now there are two modifications that I've made to this lawn sweeper to make it way, way better. I almost had it. Well, that was quite the fail. Oh no. This one thing is what I think is a necessary adjustment that the manufacturer needs to do. As you're pushing along and using the sweeper, it's coming back out the bottom. And so if you don't reinforce that with some duct tape, you're gonna have some stuff going out the front and then re-picking it up. Now, the other thing that I'm gonna show you is something that's way easier to do than what I just did. I'm gonna show you right here, these little notches. Pull that out of there. That's also taped. These are rubber, but they do not fit securely down there. They'll pop back out unless you add a little duct tape to that too. So you may be thinking with those couple modifications that you're having to do with this lawn sweeper, but I still think it's worth it. Just get your roll of duct tape, make those necessary modifications, and you really do have a good lawn sweeper on your hands. Because for me, this was a necessary investment that I made back early on in the year. And I'll tell you what, picking up pine straw and the leaves this time around, I didn't have this lawn sweeper last year. And so having to pick up the leaves and the pine straw and the sticks and the pine cones this time around has made it way easier than I had it last year.